Hey, what's going on, guys? It's YKios, so welcome back to another Division video. Today I'm going to be showing you all of the exotics currently in the game, as well as what their third talent does if they do in fact have one right now. Say for example, the Caduceus has the third talent. The Caduceus, each critical hit heals you and your group for 1%. So I'm going to be showcasing all of that in this video. If I do end up missing a weapon, then please let me know down below what that weapon is so everybody else knows that it's an exotic, and that would help me out as well as others, so I'd really appreciate it. So I'm going to be going over all of the weapons that I have here. I guess I may as well go over the gear too, because there's really only 6 pieces for that. Why don't we do that first? The Barrett's Bulletproof Vest, the Ninja Bike Messenger Bag, the Pharaoh's Oxygen Mask, the Skull's MC Gloves, the Shortbow Championship Pads, and last but not least, the Colonel Bliss's Holster. So that gets the gear out of the way. Now onto the weapons. From what I see, there's only 19, but like I said, could be wrong. There could be a few that I'm actually missing and forgetting to put in this video. But for the most part, everything's here. Let's go into it. The Caduceus, Pac-An, CASSIDY, Ear, the FAMAS. I don't know if this is actually supposed to be an exotic, but I included it anyways. The UMP or the other weapons that were released in 1.5 aren't exotic weapons. I don't know if they made a mistake for the FAMAS, but I just thought I'd include it just in case. The Historian, Hungry Hog, Liberator, the Medved, Midas, Tenebrae, the Showstopper, Thompson M1928, the Tommy Gun, Urban MDR, Valkyria, and the Warlord. And over here, the pistols, the Centurion, and the Damascus. So those are all the exotics currently in the game, and right now I'm going to show you guys what the third talent does for each of them in the best way that I possibly can. So in most things, I'll probably use in these targets over here, and maybe in some weapons I'm gonna have to go maybe join up with a group, or maybe go actually fight some real life NPCs. But for the most part, I think I'm just going to be showcasing a lot of these weapons and their third talent in this room right here. So let's begin. Starting off with the CASSIDY, the talent is Boomstick. Double trigger fires off both barrels in short succession. So let's see what this looks like right here. I'm just going to pull the trigger once. I'm going to aim in, and I'm just going to press the trigger one time. And as you guys can see, it shoots both rounds off very quickly. So now I'm going to take my finger off of the trigger and show you guys what it looks like in hipfire. And that's what it looks like. So kind of wonky because of the new hipfire camera they have in the game, but hey, I guess this is just how you're gonna have to deal with it using this CASSIDY. Secondly, we have the Historian. The talent is History Repeats. Each bullet embeds itself in the target and detonates 2 seconds later for 20% scale power. So I don't know if there's actually supposed to be an animation for the explosion. There doesn't seem to be one on these targets. It may be on actual NPCs. I'm not entirely sure, so just take that into consideration right now. It possibly could be bugged, but like I said, I'm not sure. And the 20% skill power, I don't see any skill power increase, so I'm not entirely sure on that. It may be bugged right now itself, or I may be showing it off wrong, but nonetheless, this is briefly just what it looks like. You shoot a target, you get the damage, and bam, another damage counter appears for the detonation, which is very, very cool. So we can shoot it a ton of times, and we'll just start seeing explosions pop up, which is very cool. And it doesn't increase the skill power or do anything to that. So I don't know if it's bugged right now or it just doesn't work on these targets. It may only work on NPCs. So there's the Historian. I think it's really cool. Let's move on to the next weapon. Now onto the Liberator and the Centurion. So these two weapons combined creates its own weapon set. Not a gear set, but a weapon set, which is very, very cool. This is the first time that we're actually seeing this in 1.6/Last Stand. So very, very awesome stuff. So you do need to equip both of these weapons for it to work. As you guys can see, the Centurion is equipped over here. So the Liberator, let's see what it does. The talent is Free Republic. Each shot with the Liberator grants 5% to your next headshot damage with the Centurion. Max is 200%, kills with the Centurion grant plus 10% RPM to all weapons for 10 seconds. So the plus 10% RPM to all weapons for 10 seconds is pretty straightforward. I can't actually show it on these targets here because I'm not actually killing them, but you guys should understand what that means. So what I'm going to show you guys right now is the 5% on my next headshot damage with the Centurion. So we're going to take a look on at the damage for the Centurion first off, of course. Shoot once, 51.8k damage. In the stomach, 25.9k damage. Let's actually reload that first. Okay, that's reloaded. Now let's showcase it with the Liberator. So let's just spray down a whole mag right there. It's up to 150 down there. And as you guys can see, it shot 90.1k or 90.8k, whatever that was. So let's just stack that up again. Switch over to this, and 89.5k. Tremendous amount. It's insane. So, yeah, it's insane stuff. I don't actually know how long it stays on there. Did it say a time? So it didn't really specify a time limit, but from what I can see, it only does one bullet, which is kind of weird. Maybe a bug. So let's just get that up there. Shoot it a few times. Yeah, it only seems to be doing the first bullet of the Centurion. So that could be a good way to, you know, destroy your targets efficiently and well enough with the Centurion with a pistol, which I think is pretty crazy. Now onto the Medved. The third talent is center mass and shoots heavy slugs instead of buckshot. So let's see how that looks right here. It's shooting like I guess a sniper rifle. I don't know how far this thing can shoot, but let's test this out on that target over there. And it does actually seem to be shooting. If you had a regular shotgun, it would not be shooting this far. At least it shouldn't be shooting this far, but 52.6k damage in the stomach right there. Let's see what it fares up right here. 73.1. So it does have drop off, but not a whole lot it seems like. Let's see if we can hit the head, if we get lucky. No, okay. I don't think we're getting too lucky with hitting the head unless it just doesn't detect from this far. Yeah, there we go. 83.7k in the head and 117k in the head right there. So very, very cool weapon. I would definitely suggest checking it out. So now onto the Showstopper. The talent is Showstopper. Your accuracy with this weapon is increased the fewer shells you have left in the magazine. So if I had 2 shells in the magazine, the accuracy would be astronomical compared to the 20. Let's see how this works. As you guys can see, the reticle is actually getting very, very small the longer that I fire it. So here it is at 20 bullets, here it is at 10 bullets, here it is at 5 bullets, and so on. So it gets very, very small, which is really, really cool if you need to, you know, focus on a target from at least like medium range with this thing, which is, you know, a cool weapon talent to have. So now on to the Hilder and Ear, which is the Valkyria split. For some reason it still says Valkyria, but I assume that's just a bug right now. They'll be fixing it and replacing it with the Hilder. So the talent on this one is Valkyria. Each hit with Hilder increases critical hit damage by 1% to a maximum of 100. The bonus decreases by 1 every second. So let's see how that works right now on the target. Okay, so as I was filling this thing up to 100, I seem to have broken the target. I actually never seen that before in my life. So we're just going to instead use this one and get it up to 100 instead, or at least close to 100, and we'll show you by switching over to the ear. Now, I just need to tell you guys right now, there is a bug going around. This is just the beginning of the PTS, so there are bugs. This is a major one, so don't take into consideration the full effect of this weapon by just what you're seeing here. So it stacks up to 100, and when you switch over to the ear, every shot is a critical hit. The timer's still going down, but every single shot seems to be a critical hit. I just destroyed that target. I think it may be destroying the target. I may be breaking it, but every shot is a critical hit, as you guys can see. So really right now, this weapon is actually bugged. So I don't know how I even started this game. I thought I had to press a button for it. But yeah, it's really bugged right now. And I hope you guys can see that and not take into consideration like, oh, this is how it's going to be and this is how it's going to perform. They're definitely going to be fixing it, so I just wanted to show you guys that right now. Now onto the Thompson M1928 and the Tommy gun. I'm including both of them because they both provide the talent Carefree. Hipfire damage is increased by 11%, so I'll show you guys that with the Thompson, simply because I have actually never shot it before in my life, so I just wanted to test it out with this one. The Tommy gun, it's going to be the same deal, so I don't really need to showcase that. So, hipfire, oh yeah, I broke the target, I forgot. We're going to have to hipfire over there, guys. So, 15.5k hipfire to the body, as you guys can see. Aiming down sights, 14.3k. So, it's 11% increase in damage while hipfiring, so that's very, very cool. And if you guys haven't known already, they did add a new camera position for hipfiring, which I think is pretty cool, but it feels a little wonky. So that showcases that weapon right there. As I was saying earlier with the Historian, the explosion animation wasn't actually proccing on the targets, but it does on actual NPCs or players. I'm going to show you that right now. So 2 bullets. And now the explosions. So I did figure out from Doge that the explosion damage that it deals, is 1/5 of your skill power. So that's actually where that comes from, and that's actually how it works. So I guess let's move on to the next weapon. Next we have the Midas. Each bullet fired reduces the effectiveness of healing on you by 1%. Each bullet you hit with reduces healing effectiveness on the target by 1%. The effect is reduced by 5% per second. So I'm going to test that out. Alright, so Doge is going to heal up right now and show us how much it actually heals up without the bonus proccing. So why don't you heal yourself? So he used a med kit, and that's how much it heals. So approximately maybe 75% of the way there. I'm going to use a heal as well. Actually, I'm going to get myself down to 1 bar again, and I'll show you. So I just found out that Doge actually used a first aid instead of a med kit. My bad. So I'm going to use my first aid, and it heals about 1.5 bars for me. So now I'm going to proc the bonuses on both of us, and we'll see how it works. So I'm going to start shooting Doge, and when he gets down to about 1 bar of health, he's going to use his first aid. Before, we saw it increase by about 60 to 75% of his health, so we'll see what it does now. So he's going to use it right about 1 bar, so about there, and use it. And it looked to be about the same. So Doge is going to bring me down to 1 bar of health. It didn't really work too much on him, or maybe it didn't show the full effect on how his heal is supposed to reduce his effectiveness, but mine's going to be at 1 bar, and I have my first aid ready. I'm going to start shooting him and proccing those bonuses, and we'll see how much it heals up. Let's just wait for that to actually go to the first bar. Alright, so it's there. And I'm just going to start shooting him. Right now I'm at 21 or whatever. I'm actually just going to set him down. I'm at 60. Use that, and it actually puts me into overheal. So it does actually increase my effectiveness in healing quite a bit more, and it actually reduces his. Although it didn't seem like it may have reduced his, I think it did anyways. So there's that weapon out of the way, showcased for you guys. Our next weapon is the Urban MDR. The talent is Distracted. Your damage is increased by 10% against targets with status effect. So I'm going to go ahead and throw tear gas on him. He's not going to move at all, so the distances are changed. Here's my tear gas. I'm going to shoot him twice in the stomach. So that's 12,000 damage right there. I'm going to throw some tear gas onto him, and when he's in the status effect, it should increase the damage by 10%. So now, instead of 12,000, it is 13.2k, and it is putting on that damage right now. So that's a very cool one. On to the next weapon. The next weapon is the Warlord, and the talent is Play Rough. Damage taken is reduced by 20% while firing. The damage taken is applied when you stop firing. Let's go see how it works. So I stopped firing, and I should receive the damage right now. So that was the 20% that I received from him shooting. And that's what you can expect using the Warlord. So the next weapon is the Damascus. The talent is Quick Draw. When drawn, weapon damage is increased by 20% for 2 seconds. After that, weapon damage is decreased by 20%. So let's see how that actually fares. Let's holster it and start shooting. We get 14.7k in the head. I'm just playing it safe by waiting that extra time, and now it's doing 10.3k instead. So let's see how that works again. Holster it for 2 seconds. Get that increased damage, and now it is 2 seconds later, and you do not receive that extra damage anymore. So, very interesting weapon. Now on to the next one. Okay, so the next weapon is the Pac-An. The talent is Pac-An. Each kill makes the next reload have 20% more extra bullets compared to its base. So going into combat, I have 45 in a magazine. I'm going to kill this NPC, and I will have the 20% effect. And once I reload, I will now have 54 in my magazine. I can kill another one, reload, and I still have 54 in the magazine. So you can retain that 20% by just killing enemies and reloading. I think there may be a bug going around. If you don't finish off your mag completely and reload with the 20% bonus, it will reload the ammo already in it. So at some point I did actually have 64 in a mag. I'm not going to showcase that off right here because I'm not entirely sure if it is a real thing, but it should not be doing that with this weapon. It should only apply it once, and that's all. Now onto the Hungry Hog. The talent is Glutton. Killing a target increases your damage dealt with 20% until you stop firing. Multiple kill stacks this bonus. So that's a very good one. I'm gonna go find a group of NPCs and just mow them all down. So as I'm coming into combat right here, I'm gonna start holding this down. I'm gonna jump over this, start holding it down, and we'll see how this affects. Again, it can stack, so I'm doing that now. I'm gonna try to kill this NPC first off. Hopefully Doge can heal me back there. Very good, man. So I killed that one. There's an NPC over to our right. Killed that one. Damaged a bit more.
Player.
And I'm holding this down. Maybe I can kill this rogue right here and showcase that. And I just freaking destroyed him, and he was using his Valkyrie and ear. Pretty bugged, but I'm still showcasing it. Yeah, we destroyed him together. So I guess that showcased it pretty well. I did actually hit that rogue a few times with my gun, as well as the NPCs at the end right there. As you guys can see, I kind of, over time, your damage will increase exponentially and just destroy players. So if you ever get caught in a situation like that, even though he was using the bugged Elder and Ear, with this weapon you can shoot maybe 5 NPCs and maybe go rogue on somebody and just obliterate them immediately, especially if it's a group. So it's definitely something you want to take into consideration by doing. So let's move on to the next weapon. Now onto the Caduceus. The talent is of course Caduceus. Each critical hit heals you and your group for 1%. So we're gonna damage ourselves and then go into combat, and I'll probably zoom in onto the screen so you guys can see our healths increasing as I'm hitting those critical hits. So let's go find some NPCs. So hopefully you can see the increase with the critical hits. I don't know if it really showcased it that great on this guy, but it's supposed to increase your health by 1% every critical hit that you do hit. We hit a few right there. Maybe you saw a little bit of a jump. I'll probably end up, I don't know, maybe slowing down the video if you can't see it regularly. If not, then I guess that's the weapon showcase right there. Hopefully I did a decent job actually doing that. Let's move on to the next weapon. So the final weapon I have to showcase here is the Tenebrae. The talent is the Lights Out. Destroying an enemy weak point resets skill cooldowns for you and your nearby group members. So what we're going to end up doing is probably using all of our skills, other than the signature skills, and then we're going to destroy the weak point and we'll see it reset. So we'll also test it out to see if it works on the signature skills as well. So let's get into that. Alright, so me and Doge are going to use all our skills right now. So even use your signature just to test that out to begin with. So everything should be on cooldown. We'll wait till these actually end. Or I guess we don't really need to, huh? I'm gonna blow this up, and we're gonna try shooting their weak point and blowing it up. These guys don't have any weak points, so let's just take those out of the equation. Where's this dude at? Oh, here's the dude I was looking for. So let's just shoot that. It exploded, and I now have both of my skills back. And he has his too. It does not work on signature, so that was a good way to test it out. So I guess that showcased the weapon pretty well right there. Alright guys, so this is going to be the end of the video. I showcase all of the new exotic weapons and also their weapon talents, as well as the exotic gear pieces in the game that should be available in 1.6 and Last Stand. Another video that I released around the same time as this one going live that you guys may be interested in is the exotic weapon descriptions. So I'll just show you a brief preview right here. On the Caduceus, it shows a description, and they have it on a lot of the exotic weapons as well as the exotic gears. So that video specifically for that, you guys can find that in the description down below, and go watch it. It's some pretty awesome stuff, and it adds to the lore of the game, which is really, really cool. So I'm gonna end it off with that. Drop a like if you enjoyed it, and also subscribe to the channel for more Daily Division content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.